Hello everyone, I'm Nate and welcome to my channel. Today I have a review here from one of my sponsors, ZipLine Strings. This is designed by Paul Harness, who's also on SF as well, and also with ZipLine, and has a signature string as well. And this was designed by him and within collaboration with ZipLine Strings. This is the IST. All right, let's get into it. All right, as I said, it is designed by Paul Harness, and there's some really cool things going in here. Basically, Paul, a couple of years back, started kind of teaching himself how to design yo-yos, to make a long story short, and had begun to do things like some 3D printing and stuff like that, and came up with the design, and really again, you'll see more of this. I would really encourage you to go over to ZipLine's website and check out the whole the write-up from Jeremy, from their side, and also from Paul, and kind of what went into this. But essentially what they were trying to do, what Paul was trying to do, was to create a yo-yo that sort of, a performance-based yo-yo, a competition-ready yo-yo that sort of defied all the standard categories. You know, most of the performance you know, technical yo-yos that you see out there now are oversized, they're maybe V-shaped, they're extreme sort of in their weight distribution and all that, you know, they're bimetal, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it seems to be like that's the only niche there is for performance. And so really the biggest difference here is that it's an undersized yo-yo. It's right in that 51, almost 52 millimeter gap as far as diameter. And and it's not ultra wide, but its intention is to keep that sort of nimble, small sort of feel, but at the same time not compromise with anything performance based, which if you don't follow Paul, by the way, who goes by YoYo IST, get the IST. He also has a Kendama IST channel or a page on Instagram as well, which is, you know, that's where the IST comes from. Originally they were kind of talking about maybe calling it the YoYo IST, and then kind of looked up the definition of IST, and it had that creativity, that niche sort of. Anyways, you can look that up. I have a little definition of that right here, according to Webster's Dictionary, of what IST means. There you go. So now you know. So that's what the sort of inspiration for the naming came from. Very much fitting to Paul's online Instagram persona. Anyways, but yeah, if you don't follow his Instagram, you'll see that, I mean, he's a competitive player, right? And he's won a number of titles, and he's definitely somebody to look out for as far as being on that world stage. And so, yeah. So, I mean, he wanted a yo-yo that's going to fit his style. So in many ways, it's a signature yo-yo, but also I feel like it's going to be approachable for a lot of people. He already has a couple signature yo-yos from SF. So this kind of falls a little bit in line with that. It reminds me of the L a little bit. I played that for a little while. I never did a review on that, but it has a similar profile a little bit to that. First off, before I even talk about the design of the yo-yo, I love this color. This green is just so nice. Focus here. There we go. I really like that green tone quite a bit. And even on camera, I think it shows up maybe a little brighter than it probably is. It's very like almost pastel-y a little bit. I don't know. It's hard to explain kind of the green, but I really like it a lot. I would argue that it is an organic yo-yo, right? It's got that organic flair to it, but at the same time, if you look at the profile of it, you know, you're going to see where it's kind of that, yeah, it's certainly organic, and that's the category I would put it in as a reviewer, but at the same time, it has some V and some H-shape sort of hybrid pulling into the design, okay? So, yes, I would say 80% is organic, 10% H-shape, maybe even like 5% H-shape and 15% V-shape. Let's go with that. That's my own take on that. That's not the design notes by any means, but it is organic and it is undersized. It's a nice feel in the hand, you know. It's going to be nice for a lot of those tech type of tricks. I think I'm not a competition yo-yoer, you know, but you know, you're going to see that in competition play. You're going to see a lot of tech and smaller pockets that the yo-yo needs to hit into. So when you're talking oversized yo-yos, like that's a setback. You know, like yes, you're going to maybe get the longer spin times and the more, maybe a little bit more stability and things like that. But you're going to miss out on kind of hitting those smaller pockets that you have in tech type tricks. So I think there's some benefits here of trying to create a smaller diameter yo-yo, an undersized yo-yo, again, right around that, it's like 51.9 something in the millimeter on the diameter. So yeah, right in that pocket there, you're gonna get a smaller yo-yo, but again, its intention was to still have a yo-yo that was stable, long spinning, and everything else that you would want in a performance competition friendly yo-yo. All right, let's go and actually play it, see how it plays on the string, and we'll talk about it there. All right, let's go. All right, before we get any further on this, I failed to mention that on ZipLine's Instagram, they are doing a giveaway right now of one of the prototypes, and it's kind of in that like red wine sort of color, burgundy kind of color, and I believe there's only like 4 of those or something like that. So very, very collector sort of friendly there, but it's a great yo-yo. I'm not sure how much of the difference. I didn't ever played a prototype, so I'm not sure the major differences between the production and which is what I have here. So make sure you're getting onto ZipLine's Instagram page. Plus, you'll see all the information about the actual drop of this yo-yo, which is going to happen real soon. So pay attention to that. So I'll have in the description box. I'll have a link to ZipLine's Instagram as well as Paul's Instagram as well, the YoYoist. And so if you've not been following him, you're missing out on some great tricks. So, all right, let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this. I've had it for a few days here, so I've had enough time with it to kind of just test enough. And man, I tell you what, it really does check off those boxes. I'm not really sure the last time I played a yo-yo this small in diameter that played this good. It just has a lot of that it factor. Very simple, clean design. I think one of the things that's going for it is that it's got a nice weight to it. So I talked about the gap. Well, I didn't talk about it, but I did some string wraps here to talk about the gap. Does not slow down whatsoever. I mean, like the gap is very, very performance driven. Binds are really super solid on that as well. Let's see how many it can do. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and it was slowing down a little bit, but that's expected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, really nice. And with it, oh, there's a tree here, but the gap is really flared out too for that being an undersize. Again, it doesn't feel super wide in the hand, but it's wide enough that it's still got that performance gap to it. For things like horizontal play, it really does really well. Obviously, for somebody who's going to be a little bit more competition driven, again, Paul's been playing with this yo-yo for months now, so if you go to his Instagram, you'll see what it can do in the right hands. Yeah, finger spins are really solid on that. Doesn't really have much of an IR. It doesn't really have an IRG. It does not. But you could tilt it just a little bit. I didn't have to tilt it too much there if I wanted to pop that up and do a thumb grind or something like that. The finish is pretty standard for what you see on yo-yos right now. But yeah, it's going to do pretty well for finger grinds. Actually, really well. It's very stable, which is again another thing that isn't compromised with this yo-yo. Spin times, stability. Everything else that you would want in a performance competition ready yo-yo is right there with this yo-yo as well. And my last review on the Elysium prototype from Few and Far Between, I was talking about a trick that I was kind of working on, and I feel like the ending, at least I have, it's just kind of it's a piece of a combo I'm working on, which I'll probably upload it at some point to Instagram or what have you. But this kind of yo-yo with that smaller diameter kind of fitting in those pockets is actually going to be really beneficial for this trick. So here's what I have so far. All right, so this is what I have. I was kind of messing around with this little bucket maneuver here, but here's what I have. So I'm rejecting out there, and I actually went through the pocket here. So what I want to do is bounce here, bounce, bounce, and then back through the triangle. So a yo-yo like this, that smaller diameter, is really going to help with those little pockets there, especially for more tech type tricks. So there you have it. That is the IST, designed by Paul Harness in collaboration with ZipLine Strings. Man, really like this yo-yo. Be checking out the release date for that. Again, I'll have in the description box ZipLine's Instagram and their information, their website, as well as Paul's Instagram page. Be checking out his tricks as well, and be looking for that prototype as well for the giveaway. All right, that's going to do it for now. Until the next one, later.